She there with it. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to say one thing. One thing we don't need to debate about. We don't need to debate it. We're going to have an enlightened discussion. I'm not trying to prove you wrong or you try to prove me wrong. You can add on and give me something that I can go and research and know for myself, because I don't want you to believe me, because I can lead you into some more ignorance. I want you to go take the little Jews I'm giving you and go find out for yourself.
Do your own research, man. Come on, brother. Talk to him, man. Talk to him.
You give me some
I wasn't really saying debate, Drain. I ain't even mean to use that word, to be honest. So my apologies, brother.
Yeah, hey, that's one of them things. Don't let the words slip. You know what I'm saying? You want to be precise with your verbiage. There's one quote from the Bible says, "You shall be accounted for the words that you wasted."
I already knew that's what it was.
Because they're going to be counted against you. Because you casting spells with your tongue. You're creating things to be.
I'm pretty sure you already know, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Man is mind. First you come with a thought. The thought comes to the mouth. And then the vibration causes things to be. So you got to be precise with that. Be careful.
Peace and blessings, Queen.
Honey, God. Hi, nice to meet you.
You as well.
The way it was said, I would have thought.
Thank you. Jeezy, I ain't got nothing to debate about with them. I agree with everything you said.
I ain't even mean to use that word.
Yeah, no, I've been learning about more science since I was 13. My cousin been put me up on. That's what got my interest in like learning my history.
Yes.
So like if where we came from, we were away from us. We taught them everything.
That's that highway service, Dream.
True.
Yeah, she on the highway right now, coming from out of town.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just really got into Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be back in Michigan, and like I ain't even gonna be back in Michigan until about 2:30 in the morning.
Oh man.
I don't like the way.
Oh, you on the road again.
Basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Me and my best friend, we're just driving back from Myrtle Beach.
Okay, you down at my end. See, I'm way up by Fredericksburg, Woodbridge, somewhere around there right now. But yeah, I'm Charlotte, all the way down to Charleston and Myrtle Beach and all that. That's my area. That's my river.
Okay, yeah, we have fun. We like it down there. We're gonna go back.
All right.
Take me.
Yeah. Jeez, is my phone breaking up?
It was. It's cool now. It's all right now.
Oh, okay. My service has been real bad.
I'm trying to plug mine up.
Yeah, I definitely wanted you to come on here, though, Dre, because I know you can definitely tap in with a lot that the brother was speaking on. I know you know your shit.
Jeezy, you know this right up my alley. I've been waiting.
Conjo with the vibes, peace and blessings, King. I appreciate
my friend has a question.
We is not doing that.
Yeah.
My friend has a question though. She wants to know about the pyramids that you said that are connected, like underground.
Oh, no.
Like she wants to know more about them.
Well, that's what now. The pyramids on that side. The pyramids on this side are older indeed, on this side, but trying to get me some juice because my stuff was about to add like 10%. The pyramids on that side are not as old as the pyramids on this side, but there is tunnels that go between the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx. And so I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was about 25, 30 years ago with some sonograph technology and things where they use the sound waves to vibrate the ground and that noise, the sound when it vibrates, it shows a picture of what's under the ground. Okay. They found tunnels that go between those two structures, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace be upon him, what they said that he went into the Pyramid of Giza, and they told that the adept told him that he had to come out a different way. He couldn't come out the way he came out, and he came out between the feet of the Sphinx. And this was like late 1800s when he went over there. You know what I'm saying? And they just finding this out now. So, you know, things that people say, oh, that's a myth, then those things turn out to be the truth. You know? Yeah.
Right.
Not mythology at all.
I'm still breaking up. That tell us that I'm breaking up. I'm still.
No, you're all right.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're all right now. Now that's another thing.
Okay.
The tunnel systems between over here in the Americas, there are so many tunnels and caves. Like people would think that the tunnels up under the New York City and the tunnels under these other cities that have these big subways and things underground. At those times, they did not. You don't never see nobody have no huge machinery and stuff that they could dig these tunnels under the ground and not have all that collapse on them and the whole network of tunnels under there. Nah, that was been here. You know, there's so much historical evidence that there were cities over here when the colonists arrived over here. You know, we've been told that it was a bunch of jigaboos running around naked. But then when you look at the records of the colonists who came here in Jamestown, they talk about, they say, oh, when you look at their records, they tell the story that they were cannibalizing their own children to survive the winters, and then they would go out there and dig up the grave sites of the Moors that was here, and dig up our dead people and eat them. You see, but they don't teach you that in school on purpose because it's a program that they're trying to put forth, and it's not part of the narrative. You know.
But if you look at their history, though, if you go back to their history, they're just doing what's naturally in their bloodline.
Yes.
They was doing that before. So I feel like when you come across those types of ones, that's already natural in their bloodline. They are acting out of their nature. That's like when you said about being man and a mankind, and I didn't really hear what you had said, but that's why I say play on words. A man is a man. We are, well, not me particularly, but we are men. What is a kind of man? A man is a kind man. A man a kind of man, because they are not men. They were animals. They were animals that were half animals, half men. So now they are mankind. That's why when you look at when these motherfuckers say that they landed on the moon, they always say it was a step for man, but a leap for mankind. Because man already could have did it. We was given that power to do it.
I was tripping on that shit.
Wanted to break you up.
I'm still breaking up.
You just started doing it again. But continue. Run on. Don't stop.
But that's when I say, like, so you know, we was already on the moon. We already have been there. So when they landed on the moon, hell yeah, it was a leap for them. A step is just a step, but a leap is a leap. Mm-hmm. So for them to go land on the moon being half animal, half man, because they are only a kind of man, aka mankind, mm-hmm. That was a huge move for them. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, you have to listen to the words. People just be speaking and don't really realize what they're talking about. Look at these words that these people have put together. Just like a lady said, when you say hello, reverse that around, that's oh hell. So every time you talk to somebody, you say hello, you say oh hell.
When Unc said something to you about some queen, I forgot what he said.
But I'm breaking up again.
Yeah, you already know we ain't, man. We ain't gonna let that fuck up the message.
Not at all.
I'm just saying, like, I love this whole conversation. Like I said, but please keep speaking because you're way more knowledgeable than I am. So let me learn from you.
No, I've just been talking more than I just been giving more conversation than you. You on point.
Because I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
We all can. Now, I don't think for a second that I am all that and know it all. And I'm going to get something from everywhere and every angle, you know, especially from my sisters. Okay. And one of the things is most important because the sister came on here and spoke. The Moabite, she came on here and spoke. It's most important for us men. We can talk about these women out here like a dog, and they on the TikTok shirking their butt, and they always got to turn around, and they're doing this and doing that. The man, the crescent moon and the star is symbolization of the woman and the child or the son.
I mean, at this point, it
okay,
needs to be asked.
the sun shines light.
At this point, that question needs to
the
be
moon
asked,
is a reflection of the light. Okay, the moon don't shine; it reflects. So even though she gets a child, she can have a son, and that son can get the knowledge and bring it back to her and give it to his woman as well, and then she can give that to the children. Okay, so we can't look at that woman and be talking bad about her, because the reason why the woman is like that is because the man ain't been given the life. Naturally, because of her makeup, okay, she has to be concerned with the cares of the world, because she got to be concerned with them babies. Oh, I got to get these babies some food. And this is what's going on over here. And we got that going there. And yeah, this is her. But we as men need to be shining that light, bringing it to her. We need to give it. We need to find a way to give it to her, to reach her, and not force it on her and make you take it. But we got to be creative in how we give it to her. And so that she's excited about it, so that she wants it for herself, so that she'll give what you're giving like to the children and make them excited about wanting to know more about themselves. And then we won't see the women falling prey to the world and the illusions of the world, because what's happening in all of the media and everything is targeting the woman. Everything is targeting the original woman.
Listen, man,
everything. We need to really get a grasp on ourselves as men and start putting something in our head and start worrying about all the stuff on our head, on our backs, trying to get them labels. And so we can give something to the women, something real, so that they can have something to give to our children. Yes, because the children has got, they say a child will lead them. The child will lead. Some of these children out here, for some of these brothers and sisters, been homeschooling their children since the day they was born, since before they was born, because they just started educating themselves. And when the child started coming in the womb, they was talking to that baby in the womb and starting giving them the breakdown of life. And when it came out, they started giving them more and more and more. Those children ain't never been lied to, and they coming up. The old heads and the new heads is gonna collide. There's some children out here who are way far than some of us brothers can be, because and sisters can be, because they have not got the misinformation. They didn't have to deal with the misinformation, trying to take the cloudiness out. I spent 6 months being mad as hell when I was 30-some years old, and they never heard of her more and didn't know it was me. And then after about 6 months, I realized, stop being mad. If you're going to be mad at yourself, because the information was out there, and you was concentrating on other stuff. Quit being mad and start doing something about it and find out more and do diligence. You see? And that's what we need to do as men, do diligence. You know, see what's out there that's worthy, and seek after that.
Shit,
because we got a whole generation of people that's following us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they need the men. I wish I could think of the line that Tupac said. And because some of these, it's a race to make a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies or something like that. Because we're gonna have we're gonna have a whole lot of that. We already got a whole lot of that. That's why it's a whole lot of men mistreating women today. Because it's been happening, and it's a whole program that's being set up for that. Like I say, the men trying to be the woman because she got too much power. I got to be her. She getting it all. She getting it. She going out there selling it. She's selling it. Oh, I sell something too. He can buy this. Oh, I can get plastic and I can be just like her. I'm gonna be better than all of them suckers. And I can't even get pregnant, so I'm gonna stay fly. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay fly because I can't even get pregnant, and I'm gonna be made a whole plastic body. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. It's a lot. I can't be mad at my women because they're homosexual. I can't be mad at my brothers that's homosexual because it's a program that's been run. We need to stop being mad and trying to beat up each other because they're homosexual. That's still your brother. I hear brothers out here talking about, oh, he ain't no more. He a homosexual. That don't mean nothing about being a more. Have nothing to do with you being homosexual. It has to do with you your bloodline. Because you got you got Italian homosexuals. You got Italian Christians. You got Italian Buddhists. Okay? All kind of stuff. It ain't got nothing to do. This your nationality. This is what places you in the human family. This is what gives you a status at law that makes you a human. So that you have law that applies to you. That you're not getting games played on you. You don't have to worry about be out there marching in the street. You can learn law. First thing is status. Then everybody don't have authority over you. You find out whether somebody does or not. What's the jurisdiction? You know what I'm saying? We need to get this stuff in our head. Know what's law. Know what's law. Know our place. And the first point of law is status. What's your nationality? Get this down. Let's get it down because this is what will free the people. Because if more of us people walk around like I do, you're going to make them a hellhole. You're going to hold them accountable. You're going to hold them accountable. I'm going to enforce law because, you're not going to get over on me. It's mine. Like I travel with no tags and all that stuff and no licenses and stuff like that for years now. Shoot, man, I do that because I realize that it is my right to travel. That's just like it's my ham sandwich. And I done got off the pig. But if it was my ham sandwich, it's mine. You can't have it. You know what I'm saying? And if it's my right to travel, it's mine. I'm not going to trade it in for a privilege because I got it right. And it's mine. And I'm going to know how to defend it because I'm going to be competent. I will be competent. Competence is what we need. And that's why I said, you can be all spiritualized and you can get all your spiritual stuff, but get your nationality down and get your place at law down so that you can be able to operate because the guy is out there all day long trying to take your rights away from you. You do not have to be marching and praying and all that kind of stuff. When I go to a courtroom, I'm not begging and pleading to the court. I'm talking law. Man, it felt so good when I started doing it. I was standing up like a man in there. I'm not telling you I was on my way because my mama was and this and that, and then my children and the rent was due. And no, I'm talking law, and I'm charging you. And I'm telling you, I'm sending paperwork ahead of the game before I get there. And if you come talk to me, because the pen is mightier than the sword, I'll write it down in the affidavit. If I write in the affidavit, I'll know exactly what that means. I'll be able to stand on it. But when I got it in that affidavit and I get to that courtroom, I ain't got to say nothing. I know what's on the affidavit, and I say, hey, refer to the affidavit. I'm not here to waste the court's time. That's in the affidavit. So you can't trick me.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm doing shit like
okay,
that.
so I got two questions. Okay, so the first question: Are you able to have people become sovereign? Like, are you able to do that? Like, to become because don't you need to do something in order to become a sovereign citizen so that like I can travel? You know what I'm saying? I'm not driving, I'm traveling. You need a license to drive. You don't need a license to travel. You know what I'm saying? So do you know how to get that paperwork to become a sovereign citizen?
All right. I'm gonna get to the word. Remember I said earlier, if you listen, I don't let nothing slip, like my brother said debate. Mm-hmm. You said sovereign citizen. That there, you on a terrorist list. Okay? You on
Oh, really?
Yeah, you on sovereign citizen, you on terrorist. Now I'm gonna tell you. Now, as a sovereign citizen, that's an oxymoron. Sovereign and a citizen don't even go together.
Right, okay.
Okay. The sovereign is a national of the land. Okay. A citizen is a subject to the sovereign. A citizen is one of the sovereign's subjects. You are subject status. Okay. You are the sovereign when you are the white man. When you claim that you're at home on your own land, you know who you are as a national. You ain't playing that game that you brought me here from Africa somewhere on some slave ship. I know that the slaves were Slavic people, okay, and they don't look like me, okay. I'm not disillusioned. The main thing is getting people want to get right to the point. The main thing is that we get the idea, the concepts of mind right. Okay, we have to get our concepts of mind right. Okay, we look at the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Okay, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1779, 1784. It's 2 dates. First, it was written in Arabic. Sultan Ibn Abdullah Muhammad, Sultan Morocco. Okay.
I have a copy of that peace treaty. Yeah. If I was at home, I could show it to you. But it has all the Moroccan signatures. It tells us how really pretty much we rule this. We're not supposed to be subject to any law of this land, if I'm not correct.
No, you're right on time. Now, no, subject to law.
I have a copy of it at home.
So they put it this way: law. We are the law of the land. The law abides in the people, and the laws come from the people. Okay, the government derives its power from the people. Okay, and their authority given by the people. And at any time, what's yours, you can take back. Okay, that's why when we say Islam, okay, just like the five highest principles known to man, Islam is also I, self, law, am master. And simply put, what does that mean? I, myself, am the law and the master. So I govern myself is what it's saying. Just like when I put my hand across my chest and say Islam, I govern myself. I don't need somebody to govern me because I know how to govern myself. I honor the five highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Okay? See, the concepts of mind is what we got to get. You know, because what we can do is we can get somebody, and where people get in trouble is somebody give you a piece of paper, and a lot of paperwork has more is getting a lot of bad flack because people were selling people paperwork. Okay? And people was out there, they were telling them what to do with it. And you go out there and use that paperwork. You send that paperwork to these people and these people right there. But you have not done the deep study of what is every single concept and word and verbiage and get down the law language of what's said in that paperwork, and you can't stand on it. So when you go to court upon a challenge, it don't work. Because they challenge you and you answer wrong, and then all this shit don't work. No, the paperwork ain't wrong, but you can't stand on it. So they say it don't work because great and large portion of us think that we gonna get a silver bullet. We gonna get a magic pill. We've been trained to look for a savior to come save me or some leader to come save. But we have to save ourselves, and it takes due diligence. Study to show yourself approved, a workman with no need to be ashamed talking about the paperwork don't work. No, the paperwork fine. But you can't stand on it. You know, that's the thing. So, number one, ain't no sovereign citizen stuff. Okay, that's not us. Okay, that's those other people claiming that sovereign citizen stuff. And that's why lately, you don't hear nothing from them. I ain't heard nothing from them people lately. You know, they don't hear nothing of them people talking about sovereign citizen stuff. You hear some people talking about common law stuff, but you don't hear too many people screaming on sovereign citizen no more. I used to see a lot of that, but I don't hardly see any of it now because they've been slamming that stuff. Okay, sovereign citizen. So what you want?
I forgot her name, man.
Okay, so I look, because I got one more question. You answered that one for me. So going back to like your nationality, right?
Yeah.
Like when you said you gotta find your nationality. So
he got
me being biracial, right? Me being biracial, how do I necessarily, like, it's just what? Definitely one drop rule. I am what my father is.
Now that ain't true. You are what your father is, your grandmama is, somebody back there. Okay, you know what? If your mother or your grandmother or somebody, because the mother, it go through the mother's bloodline and all that stuff. If somebody back there look like is one of these people, and by and large, the people over here, there are very few people that came from Africa, and it's so, unless in recent times, okay, and the ones that have, we were coming back and forth, and the ones on that side is us as well, okay? This is why people from Kenya, people from Senegal, people from Ethiopia, from Eritrea, and Egypt, and all them people, when they come here and they come into the land, they have the status of white. They can be dark as a black shoes, but they are cast as white because over there is still part of the Al-Moroccan Empire, the most vast state on the planet, from all of Africa, North Africa, the Middle East, what they call Middle East, West Africa, all of that, the whole Atlantic Ocean, the water, the whole Atlantic Ocean, North, South, and Central America, Central Morocco, North, South, and Central America, all the way to the Hawaiian Islands. Okay? All the way to the Hawaiian Islands, the most vast state on the planet. This is when Sultan Ibn Muhammad, when he wrote that treaty up, it wasn't this little tiny kingdom over there. It wasn't that tiny little kingdom over there, okay? It was not the tiny little kingdom, Morocco. This is the empire. That little kingdom stuff wasn't even a fact. That wasn't nothing then. That's some modern stuff, okay? That's modern creation. 1949, circa 1949-50, they just got their freedom. That Morocco. That's not the one that wrote the Treaty of Peace and Friendship in 17-something. We're talking about 1949-50 in that circle. Is when they just getting their freedom. They didn't even have that flag until, they had a white flag. You see? They didn't have that red flag with the 5-pointed green star. That star has a black line around the green star. Okay, when you study vexillology is the study of flag science. The flag, anybody been in the military, they know you have to learn something about flags. A lot of people didn't pay attention, but you can look up your basic military requirements and go into some of them books right there, or get one of them books from basic military requirements from people who went through the Army or Navy or whatever, and you can see some stuff about flag science in that. And there's other places you can look for flag science, but that flag was that's not our flag. That red flag is ancient. You know?
I'm just learning about flag science because my cousin just put me up on it, and every day he's been like posting something different about flags, like the little symbols, what the colors represent, how many stars mean this, and the third. Like flag science, like that's how I know you like telling the truth, because you sound just like my older cousin, like just like him. So yeah, definitely.
And it's hard.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Interesting. And those are the things we should gravitate through to knowledge. This is the kind of stuff we should run through. We don't need to be running after watching Empire and watching all that craziness that they're doing and trying to watch the housewives of some foolery. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You know what
Read a book.
The funny part is a lot of them ain't even housewives.
Yeah, some of them be house men.
Bad chicks and booty calls. Like,
yeah, exactly. They ain't married to nobody.
Yeah. I just found out that you know the whole, like when you talk about programming, looking at the globe, Africa is smaller than a lot of the other countries in the world when it's actually the biggest. If you go by kilometers, it actually shows by number double in most countries. You feel me? Like that shit crazy. That shit crazy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is correct.
It's a whole web of deceit. Yeah. It's not just one thing.
Everything.
Yeah, everything's upside down. The globe's upside down. You know, it's everything. It's a whole web of stuff that all goes together, and that's why that, you know, it's not just happened yesterday.
I always wanted that, OG. Like, how the fuck is the bottom of the world hot and the top of the world cold? Like, I never understood that shit. I'm like, that don't even fucking make sense. That never made sense to me. But I'm, you know, I ain't know no better. I know now.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, my cousin always told me that anything that you were ever taught in school, as far as history, anything you ever see, all that shit fake. None of it is real. You will never learn your real history in school or nothing. The only way you're going to really learn it is if you learn it yourself, or if you got somebody like yourself, or if you got somebody like my family that is knowledgeable on it. You know, pretty much you got to erase everything you ever learned in order to even grasp and understand what he's talking about right now.
Because you got facts.
You have to literally reprogram your own subconscious.
I don't even like saying the word history. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because history, if you break down the word history, it's his story. It's his story. And our story is a mystery. That's why history is always a mystery to me. You feel me?
Yes, you said it right on time. I like that.
Shout out to Big House, man. Shout out, peace and blessings, King.
Real. It definitely is his story. That's why I don't be really fucking with history. Like, that shit, it's a throw off.
But exactly.
But you gotta.
Go ahead, sister.
Oh, thank you. I was just gonna say, like, you gotta find something like this, like what we're talking about now. That's history. So you gotta take whatever sparked your interest. You gotta take that and research that. You know what I'm saying? And then you learn about that, and then you learn about this. And because when you're reading something about this part of your history, something else gonna pique your interest. Next thing you know, you learning 17, 30 different things at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you learn history. That's how you learn your story. You have to. You have to find, once you get that little spark. I'm telling you, when I was 13, my cousin, he wrote in my 8th grade yearbook, he said, "You are a queen. Always remember where you came from." And I'm like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "Why you call me a queen?" Da, 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 da. He's like, blah, 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 blah. Sparks my interest. Went from there.
Yes.
You got to find what that spark that gets you to even want to open up. What I say is your third eye to even get to the knowledge that is really in your subconscious that's just been buried. It's in our bloodline. We just gotta open it back up.
I wanted to ask you before.
It's just been hidden, so we gotta find it.
Conversation, bro. Like I said, that's really my sis. Like I'm
with y'all. One thing, when we don't throw away the history books.
Like personal shit.
But the thing is that they didn't just make up them stories out of nowhere. You are hidden and masked in that. What you do is take and decipher it and dig deeper and find out about that. That's just your a guide to where you can go and search and know they've been bullshitting. And say, wonder what's real about this. That sounds familiar to me. That sounds like some stuff my people would do. You know what I'm saying? And then you find books on that.
You gotta say, my nigga.
And you study those things.
Understand.
Okay. And you'll find that that you put the pieces together. The pieces in there like this. And you say, oh, shoot, I had to do like this. And I turned that joker 45 degrees. And it makes sense now.
Like I said, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And I take this person out of there because that was a damn ghost. They just put him in there just to trick us up. He wasn't nobody like Amerigo Vespucci. That's how we came up with America.
America Vespucci. Hey.
That joker, I'm with it. That's the name of the He did not do nothing. How they gonna name the land of the guy that didn't do nothing? You know what I'm saying? When you just look at them things and you say, what about this fool? Why would they name the place after this guy? He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing else, but they named it after him. That don't seem strange. See, you take and decipher and dissect those things and find the answers because they didn't just make it up out of nowhere. They took your stuff and twisted it, misaligned it, reshaped it, and fashioned it so that you wouldn't recognize you.
Yeah.
That's what Albo just said. They took our stories and made it a story. And right before you said that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of Elbow down there in them comments because Elbow been down there in them comments. He done showed us another side tonight, Elbow. I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, that's respect.
I'm
proud of you, Elbow.
Totally get it.
I want to let everybody know that I'm not avoiding the comments, but without my glasses, I don't know what the comments. It look like just lines.
So I can take care of the comments too.
You pass the preacher right now, so we gonna be your disciples.
Listen, why you think I ain't said nothing? This whole, from the jump, I already knew what this was going to be.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, Jeezy got a lot of respect for you, because I ain't never played the game.
What you want to try to
There's
tell
a lot of
me, bro.
respect. That boy just groomed himself for this conversation. So that's big blessings on his behalf to you.
And he's quiet. And he's quiet. He ain't said nothing. Jeezy ain't said
Say this right. I tell y'all both all the time. If somebody's speaking knowledge, you learn more by listening than talking. I learn a whole lot more about listening than talking, especially when it's making sense. This brother speaking things that I don't know, that I should know, that I want to know. So I'm all ears right now.
It's at that level.
And don't never feel bad because you don't know what you know and feel like you're behind, and it's never too late. Okay? It's never too late. It ain't never too late to teach an old dog trick. It's new tricks, especially if you the old dog and you realize that I got to get up to speed. You know, I'm going to give much respect.
And I see that as a good reason. You know?
I'm going to give much respect to G the Star Flower.
I know
my brother. Much respect, my spiritual brother. We have many conversations. Like I say, this our regular stuff. You know, he'll send one of them things where you push the thing and you say what you're gonna say, and then you gotta push the button and listen to it. You know, and then I'll send one. And after that, I got to get some face to face. We gotta get live conversation.
that on my 3 sons.
We had some real good bills, and it's like it's not about no negativity. It ain't about knocking nobody down. It's about uplifting people. It's about uplifting our people. It's not about tearing nobody down, saying I'm better than you or that dude he ain't this. We ain't knocking nobody. We all about uplifting. The whole way we came together was, through some some of that polemics that people was playing games and stuff. And we came together. Both of us saw that each other were on some positive vibes and the other person was not. And then we noticed each other in those comments, and then we came together and back and forth, and then we started hitting each other up. And this is how we came into this perspective that we have now, and a mad respect for each other, because we're about the men stuff. We're about the grown man stuff. We're about the OG stuff. Because the new school stuff is tricking people up. We're tricking people up with the new school. They keep running you with some new school stuff, like the New World Order. The New World Order is what's going on now. The old World Order is the Moorish order. Okay? All this stuff with the corporate nation states and all this stuff, these different corporations operating as China in Manchuria. You see, it's a corporation operating as the United States Republic, as the United States of America in Al Morocco. You see, you got all these corporate nation states, and they are corporations. And if you, the one, and you can tell that, and the ones as a corporations, they have a centralized bank. That's all connected to the same people over there in the Lloyds of in London City. Okay, the International Monetary Fund. These are all corporate nation states. These are businesses operating on the sovereign lands of some people. The sovereign lands of the people. The sovereign people of the land. The land gone, and the land still there. But the corporation is operating on the land and is controlling the people like they the boss, but they just doing business on the people's land. Just like over here.
All right, somebody got a question down here, brother. From Albo. He said, where did our last names come from?
Slave owners. Slave owners.
Your slave master.
Your slave master. That's where mine came from.
If you believe in slavery, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Some of us,
Shorty. Richmond, Virginia, Lee Farm. I already looked my shit up.
You think what now?
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't think my people, my ancestors on my daddy's side, I don't think we were slaves. We actually, rumor in my family is that we were the indigenous people of Yellowstone Mountain before the white people came and took it from us. But that's where my daddy's side of the family, you know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily believe that my ancestors were slaves, because I mean, we got pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like we was here. They, but I don't know for sure. That's just a rumor. Because they wasn't. If you think about slavery, supposedly these Christopher Columbus, whoever, they come over here with all these slaves, right? But there was already people here. What did they do with all them people? If they didn't kill all them damn Native Americans. They sent them off, and that's why you have reservations now. Reservations is where they sent the natives when they didn't slaughter them. You know what I'm saying? So when eventually the people that were brought over as slaves, this is my own personal conclusion about it. So, I don't know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, but this is what I've done, came up on my own. Like pretty much those slaves that were brought over in the slave trade, they got out. You know what I'm saying? They got out somehow, some way. We all know that they connected with the natives that was already in here, and if you look at the indigenous people, we dark. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until white people started raping them that Native Americans started turning light skinned. Native Americans are dark as hell.
I'm gonna tell you.
You know what I'm saying? And
go ahead.
I have a
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I feel like you get Indians from Asians and blacks, if you ask me.
But we're not Indian. We're not Indian. Indians come from India.
I mean, excuse me.
So how can somebody in America, the Native Americans, they're indigenous. They're indigenous to this land. They were the people that were here on this land. Before, like I keep telling people, before the Great Continental Drift, the continents were connected. So if Africa is the motherland was connected to the Americas somehow, some way. That's how we got over here. That's why Christopher Columbus's navigator, who was a black man, was able, and it's in Christopher Columbus's journals that his navigator told him where to go, because his people had already been over here on paper boats. They was coming over here on paper boats because their ancestors had already walked to America before the Great Continental Drift. You know what I'm saying? So those people that walked over from Africa before the Great Continental Drift, they adapted to the climate of the Americas. So of course, your skin may change, your hair may change, because you have to adapt to your climate. You have to adapt to your area where you live at. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, over the generations of time, of course, we changed. You know, but not everybody was slaves. That's my whole point. And I don't really believe that my ancestors were brought over here. If you talk to a lot of Africans, they be like, y'all believe that bullshit?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like you said. Even the people over there in India, that's the ancient Sindhu. Okay, the Sindhu people, okay, what we call Hindustani, okay, or the Sindhu people, they wouldn't call Indian. That's a colonist term as well. Okay.
Okay.
And when we say the white people, I'm going back to that again because verbiage is most important. We've got to get that out of our language, and if we use those terms, let's use them correctly. Okay? Because white has nothing to do with your complexion. You're calling the people the gods. You're calling them the sovereign. You're saying white people. You're calling them the gods. You're calling them the sovereign. You're calling them the landlords when you say this. Okay? You can use a proper terminology, German, Caucasian, whatever you want to call them, but please don't call them white, because you just said it's not you. And then you slaves, you not descendants of slaves, because slaves were Slavic people. Those people, Indo-Germanic and all that kind of stuff, that came over here as slaves, Slavic people, like Yugoslavia and all that stuff, Slavic people. Those people were not your ancestors. Okay? Those people who had a descent, they have the descendant that is Neanderthal. That you don't have that as your descendant, except through some relation, through miscegenation, raping the people. Okay? But that's not our ancestor. Okay? So we're not going to call those people white. If I use white, I'm referring to me as a people. I'm talking about, I know I'm at home on my land. The Slavic people, let's say, there's so much evidence that the Caucasus races and whatnot came over here as slaves. That's who came here as slaves. And it was the women who came first, because they were in harems. We had them in harems. That's why I was saying, when these people were pushed up to the mountain and stuff like that, and there was just a bunch of men up there guarding, keeping jokers from coming down, because they're barbaric and cannibal, it was taking some of them women for themselves. You understand? You're taking them for yourselves, because there's all these old art paintings and all this stuff, antiquity stuff, and they got these Moors with turbans and sashes and feathers, fancy shoes that curl up and all this stuff, and these blonde women all around. And, it was some other women, some original women, but they had these blonde women all around. They was in harems and stuff. I was in a computer store where I had my laptop built. And I was in there talking to a brother about this, and the guy, he was sloppy. This is his identity. He's from over there, right? Croatia or one of them places right in that area. And he identifies his nationality. He's Slav. And I was talking about this to the brother, and the brother jumped up at me and said, yes. He said, yes. He says, we were the first slaves. Our people are the slaves. People don't know this, but our people was the slaves. We enslaved each other, and then we was the first ones to come here as slaves. And then he said, and our women are the whores of the world.
Oh, wow.
Said. He said, people over here don't know this. And this is and his mama was right in the same computer store sitting over there. And his brother was back there, you know what I'm saying? And they speak a little broken English. They got the language down, but you can tell they kind of foreign. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't just speaking the regular. But people know.
4G, but peace and blessings. I'm about to follow you though. It's great.
I'm gonna follow
Big Tim, bro.
I'm following you now, Big Tim.
Appreciate you, bro.
Hey man, make sure you bring Elbow ass up, man. I want to hear what you.
I definitely, bro. I gotta bring bro up.
Leaving because
he on a different level tonight.
Yeah.
Oh no! If you want to stay up here, stay up here, because we driving.
This is your lane of convo, so you stay in here.
Yes, right. That's what I want.
You know how we in the live. This was the live.
You know how we go.
So you be in this live and get these good blessings and spread this good blessing. Yeah, I'll catch y'all in these fucking comments.
All right, husband.
Appreciate you, brother.
It's long.
This is right up my alley.
I mean, whenever we got these type of topics going on, that's my go-to person right there. My sense and shit,
Throw it out there.
I feel like me, being biracial though, like it's okay, y'all. It's rough being biracial. I know that sounds crazy because everybody just assumes that because my mom is white that I get white privilege, and it's not like that. My mom lost her white privilege, or rather her Italian privilege, in 1984 when I was born. You feel me? So it's like so learning like. Learning and have learned about like who I really am, like what it's great. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of makes you feel like, okay, in a world that don't really accept you being biracial, because a lot of people, it's changing a little bit, but a lot of people still don't accept biracial people. It feels good to know that what I am is what I am, and I know what my descendant comes from, where I come from,
Yes.
So I love learning about it.
Different personalities we all have.
Well, when you speak on that level right there, and then Italian people, you still claim your connection to the Moorish family anyway. Through the Italian.
Yes, I know.
You know the deal.
And that's what made me feel good about being Italian, because I'm like, oh well, especially Sicilian, because they dark.
Oh yeah. Certainly that.
So it does. I feel like, okay, either way it goes, it's in my bloodline.
Right. And see,
because if you know about the Italians,
then that's one of the things that we can connect ourselves back to the family of nations, and all of us are connected back to the ancient Moabite woman. This is why the people in the Masonic lodges, they wear the fezzes in the dark. They wear them in the lodge. The lodge is the woman. It's a Moorish woman. They're claiming their connection to the Moorish woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I say it's divine and national movement, is to uplift fallen humanity, both man and mankind. It's not the cause of division. You know, people, I talk to everybody like this. I talk to Caucasian people like this. I tell them about their history, and I tell them, I say, don't get caught up in the game thinking you're white and this and that, because you're in error, and it's going to be a time that comes and that's going to fall apart for you if you're in the, you know. So you need to connect yourself to a nationality, because this is what gives you humanity. Okay?
Right.
You know, it's just that it sounds harsh sometimes because, you know, the truth is so opposite from what it seems, and it's, oh, you being racist. No, I'm just giving the truth, and it's not being harsh, and I'm not being ugly about it, but I'm being factual. Okay? And we need to connect ourselves with the family and nations and know our place and take our place where we are. If you know, and recognize that, hey, my nationality is this, and we came like the Sicilians, like the Italians. You know your connection back to the great Moabite mother.
Yeah.
No, you connect.
And my cousin had to tell me that, because he was like, oh, cause your mama Italian. Da, 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 da. I'm like, oh, okay. So I started learning about Italian history.
Yes. So, and see, the Italian, okay, let's say Italy, France, all that came out of Germany. That was German people. Those are German people. Mm-hmm. Okay? The kings over there, they migrated down. The king sent his sons down and to take people into this land and to separate into that land, just like Cush and Ham. Okay? They sent their people down there. Sent their people down there, and they amalgamated with the people that was there. You know? And so then we get that's the separations and how the nationalities came out of all that stuff. But these were all these same people. You know what I'm saying? You got you got some people, everybody wasn't Caucasians that's pale. You know, because you got
right.
The Anglo-Saxons, you got different divisions and breakdowns of these things. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is that we need to check into our nationality so we can claim our place among the affairs of men and go back to the old world order where you connect yourself to your blood family and you don't choose another over yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
I'm sorry. So like when you go back, because you had said something, you said about like Cain, like going down, right? Cain sent his kids down. You said, is that what you said, Cain?
Cain. I didn't say nothing about Cain.
I didn't hear. I thought, who did you say sent their kids down to like France and them?
Oh, the German.
Okay, so I read a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu.
Uh-huh.
Right? And it takes place like after, it's not a book, it's more like a documentary in a book, pretty much.
Okay.
But it takes place after the flood. And it breaks down like where Noah's sons had went after the flood. Like some of them went here, some of them went here, some of them went there. And because what was Noah's son's name? One of his sons wasn't Cush, was it? Or
Cush, Ham, Japheth.
I'm asking that because I don't know.
Ham, Japheth. Cush, Ham, Japheth.
Okay, so in this book that I read, Cush, Ham, Japheth, one of them three, it basically says that he was lighter than the rest of them. So I'm assuming that that's the son that went down into Germany. Down into Germany and France, right? Because that was like, but that's what the book said. Like he was like the lightest, you know, like.
It said that Japheth is the ones that were the Ashkenazi, okay, which the German,
okay,
the Ashkenazi. And see, when you look at history been played with so much because it's so many people that are the same people. Like Carthaginians are Moors as well. You know what I'm saying? That's just Carthaginian. They call it different things. You got the you got the Ottoman Empire. Those are Moors. They just call Ottoman. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got the Cherokee or Anyangwea, you know, Algonquin. All those are still Moors. You know what I'm saying? They're different people. And then at different times they're called different things. See, and that's where the confusion is. And to do a deep study, then you have to really deep in to dissect all this stuff and then go into the etymology and when did they start calling them this and when did this, and look at the time dispensation is very important. That's like people who study the Bible. People who are very lost about what's going on in the Bible because they don't understand time dispensation, okay? And so that what's happening here, and they think that this is this time, but no, that's not happening in that time. That's like when, for example, when they say Moses went up to the mountain, you know, and got the tablets and stuff, stone tablets and stuff, and he came down and they was worshiping the golden calf. They done, you know, hewn the golden calf and all this shit. And the whole thing is about dealing with the time dispensation. There are ages. The ages correlate to 2,066 years is the age. Okay, there's 12 ages. It comes around, when you add 12 of them together, it comes to 26,000 years, and that's the one eon. Okay, a lot of times in the Bible, when it says the end of the world, it's the end of the age. They translate to the end of the world, but it was the end of the age. They translate to the end of the world, but it was the end of the eon. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Because everything is in cycles. It happens in cycles. Like now we're in the age of Aquarius, when all things in the dark shall come to light. Right. That's why we're getting all this knowledge right now. That's why this computer came out. And you know, that's all of this is showing what's going on. It's cycles of time. Things go again, and it's a cycle. People digress, and they lose, and you know, they get to a high point in civilization, and then it digresses. Okay, and then they move back up. And there's all these different things. So time dispensation, when we look, for example, when he came down from the mountain and they got the fat calf out there, but no, that wasn't the time of Taurus. That was no longer in the age of Taurus. Then they start running with the lamb and stuff. Okay, and then when the ages run, they run backwards. They don't run like this. You know, the ages run forward, like here you got Taurus, Gemini, but the ages run backwards. It didn't say Taurus, then it say what came before Taurus. Aries. See, Aries is the ram.
Got it.
And that's when they start doing all this ram sacrificing and you know, and see, when you're looking at it like that and you dig time dispensation, you know what's going on, then you get a better picture of things. And we got to really look at time dispensation when we're doing our study and our research. One thing that I always explain to everybody to do, if you really want to be a scholar, look at the Bible and get you a good Bible. And before it gets to where it says Genesis and God said, before you get to that, learn all of that stuff before that tells you how the book works.
That's not stuff that's something you need to know. That's not stuff. It's something you need to know.
Yes, that's scholarship right there. The part before it gets to saying Genesis, I'm talking about not just the little thing that you get, you know, the little Gideon thing that don't have nothing in. I'm talking about a good study Bible. Then you look at the part before it gets to saying, in God this, and it tells you how to use the tool, because it's a tool, it's a science book. It tells you how to use it. When you get you a good unabridged dictionary to be a scholar, you go in and before it says A and aardvark and all that stuff before that, all those pages that come before that, you need to have a good studying, learn and study that. If you teach your children how to use the tool and you go through and learn how to use that, then when you go through the book, you got a better idea what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to build some scholarship and
you ain't saying nothing wrong. You ain't saying nothing wrong. You ain't saying nothing wrong other than you calling it stuff.
You want me to drive the rest of the way to the view?
I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I'm down tired.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm talking to my homegirl.
Oh,
yeah, if you want to stop, I'll start
all of it is good. Everything in the good book is good knowledge.
Yes.
And the way you went with it, I like how you went with it.
I can always just listen.
But all of the good book is knowledge. There's every testimony. Then when you jump to the King James version, everything is good.
Yes.
Well, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so our Bible is different than
you even spoke on Allah.
It is different, and one of the things is, and like I said, being a scholar, we want to be scholarly. We want to be competent about this, what we're doing. And what we do is we recognize this translating. And we recognize that the translation came from a language. Then you can get a Strong's, then go to the Hebrew or the Hebrew. And then you can see what, like, for example, where it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And the Spirit of God moved upon the darkness of the deep. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And that was the first day. Okay? When you look in the Hebraic language and you look at the Hebrew, what it says is, in the beginning, the Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And
he was speaking on the God. You know how they make these little movies right now? They make these little movies saying that we had gods at first. Not one God, we had gods with an S.
Right.
We had gods looking on us. So that means we had a God for the water, the fire, earth and the wind. Then we had two other gods. The other gods were just gods that just left us with, what's going on. Right. We have to look into all. We have to look into all of that issue right there. It's just like right now, they will tell you can't live by two gods. Mm-hmm. I live by one God. Mm-hmm. That's the person that put me first.
So, well, I've been reading. I've been reading the. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. And you've been reading.
Everybody. Right now, everybody.
Just in response to what Elbow was saying about like the different gods or whatnot, so I don't know. My interpretation, my view of what God is, everybody knows, is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And ever since I've been reading, like I'm reading and I don't know if I'm saying it right, the Kabbalion?
Yes.
Kabbalion?
Yeah, Kabbalion. Mm-hmm.
So that me reading that and studying that right now, the Hermetic philosophies, mm-hmm. that to me is giving me a new outlook on really what like God is per se. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, which then again makes me want to question the Bible. Go to this other one. Okay, they ain't supposed to even open.
They're just like if you reading the Quran speaks on everything that's in the Bible.
Yes.
Well, the Quran is different. I don't know. I've read. I'm not finished reading the Quran yet. I'm not finished reading it yet. But I tend to think I like the Quran. I like the Quran better than I actually like the Bible. To be honest.
I thank you for that.
The Bible calls us slaves. The Bible calls us slaves. In the Quran, as far as I've gotten so far, we're children. You know what I'm saying? So it's again.
It looks at us like we're children. Why? Because we still have to go back and to talk to someone. We have to understand the whole time. We have to go back and talk to someone.
Right.
Instead of us doing it on our own, we have to go and ask. May I Should I? Right. It is okay.
Y'all, I'm about to be driving in a second. We just switched positions. So I'm about to be down here, just to let y'all know. I'm still here though, and still talking.
We ain't gonna speak on the Quran though, because I can't speak on the Quran with so many people.
All right. But, the Quran deals with the astral plane. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I can't speak on it though.
It goes.
I can speak on it as much as I want, but I'm just being real. I can't speak on it, brother. I can speak on it with my brothers, but I can't speak on it.
Right. It all goes together. Like I say, it's all together, and it's not one or the other. It's together, and when you get the proper study, then you know how to puzzle.
Somebody camera or whoever we on here with, everything's starting to mess up real quick. That's your camera, bro. I see everybody. Jesus, no, I like this type of talk, man. I live with this type of talk. Man, what's going on, you know? Hey, as long as we can hear, that's all that matters. We here to hear the message. You know?
Like I was saying about in Genesis, when it was talking about what it says, actually, when you go into the Hebraic and read what it's saying and take the actual from what's been translated for you and given to you and put into a trading language, a language of trade and commerce, which English is, okay? Which our people made up.
See the monologue on that, man, like okay, people was created. As they got created, they looked at it like we came from animals. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. See, it goes back to science. But it did not go back to science, but science proves that we have animal in us. Like when it comes back to gorillas and monkeys and all that, it proves that, this nigga was walking like this one day, and then he just stood up and said, "Hey."
Well, now
it doesn't prove that.
Well, hold on. Well, elbow. How about this? How about maybe that when the earth was created, maybe we all formed at our levels of vibration. So maybe that when the universe was created and the Big Bang happened, boom, bam, and a lot